What started as a ghosting strategy to escape a toxic marriage would eventually lead Marcus to discover that sometimes the greatest love stories begin in the wreckage of the worst betrayals. His journey from devastated husband to happy remarried father would prove that healing is possible, second chances exist, and that the person meant to love you might already be caring for what matters most to you. Therapy sessions aren't supposed to inspire Reddit posts, but Marcus found himself struggling with his therapist's suggestion to journal about his experiences. The divorce still triggered anger and negative thoughts, even years later, but the process of writing might help him process the lingering trauma from his failed marriage and the unexpected happiness that followed. 2 years of marriage had taught Marcus more about incompatibility than he ever wanted to learn. He and his ex-wife Sarah were complete opposites, and while that dynamic might have created initial attraction, it ultimately became the source of constant conflict and power struggles that would define their relationship until its explosive end. Marcus's role as a father began before his role as a husband, when he and Sarah had their son during their dating relationship. His commitment to being a good father and husband required him to overcome his natural introversion and learn relationship skills from scratch, a challenge he approached with determination and genuine effort to build a family. Sarah's character revealed itself gradually through patterns of behavior that created an increasingly toxic household environment. She consistently refused to compromise in conflicts, instead using bullying and gaslighting tactics to manipulate situations to her advantage, creating a dynamic where Marcus felt constantly under psychological pressure. Financial irresponsibility became another source of tension, as Sarah spent money impulsively on things she felt she deserved, without consideration for their family's budget or long-term financial security. This self-centered approach to money reflected her broader attitude toward family responsibilities and shared decision-making.
The division of household and parenting responsibilities fell disproportionately on Marcus, who found himself managing everything from their son's medical appointments and hospital visits to daily care routines. Sarah showed little interest in taking on additional responsibilities, preferring to focus on her phone and personal interests rather than family engagement. Marcus's experience of burnout, from carrying the full load of work and family responsibilities while receiving little support or partnership from Sarah, created resentment and exhaustion that made him vulnerable to the devastating betrayal that would ultimately end their marriage.
Have you ever found yourself carrying the emotional and practical burden of a relationship while your partner remained disengaged? How does this imbalance affect your ability to trust and connect? The discovery of Sarah's infidelity with her ex-boyfriend represented the final violation of their agreed-upon relationship boundaries. Both Marcus and Sarah had explicitly established that cheating would be a deal-breaker from the beginning of their relationship, making her betrayal not just hurtful, but a clear violation of their mutual understanding. Marcus's response to discovering the affair demonstrated remarkable self-control and strategic thinking under extreme emotional distress. Rather than confronting Sarah immediately and risking a destructive fight, he chose to plan his exit carefully and methodically, prioritizing his and his son's well-being over immediate emotional gratification. The logistics of Marcus's escape plan revealed the depth of his commitment to making a clean break from the toxic relationship. He secured housing 2 hours away, leveraged his remote work flexibility, removed himself from all shared financial accounts and legal obligations, and coordinated the move to occur during Sarah's absence.
Marcus's decision to serve divorce papers while simultaneously exposing Sarah's infidelity to her family members created maximum impact and accountability for her actions. This approach ensured that Sarah couldn't control the narrative about their relationship's end or manipulate family members with lies about Marcus's behavior. The 6-hour time frame for Marcus's complete disappearance from Sarah's life represented one of the most decisive and comprehensive responses to infidelity ever executed. By the time Sarah returned from her spa appointment, Marcus and his son had vanished, leaving only legal papers and evidence of her betrayal. The immediate aftermath of Marcus's ghosting strategy triggered a flood of communications from Sarah's family members, with reactions ranging from apologies to pleas for reconciliation. The fact that Sarah's cousins apologized and admitted they knew what might happen suggested that her infidelity wasn't entirely surprising to those who knew her well. Sarah's mother's admission that she didn't raise her daughter well provided some validation for Marcus's experience and demonstrated that even Sarah's closest family members recognized her problematic behavior patterns. This acknowledgement from Sarah's own mother confirmed that Marcus's perception of their relationship dynamics had been accurate. When someone's own family acknowledges their problematic behavior, does this provide closure or create additional complexity in processing the betrayal? How important is external validation in healing from emotional abuse? Sarah's escalation to threats and insults through various phone numbers revealed the extent of her desperation and manipulative tactics when she lost control over Marcus. Her willingness to engage in harassment demonstrated that her earlier behavior had been restrained only by Marcus's presence and tolerance, not by genuine respect or love.
The legal proceedings that followed Marcus's departure provided an opportunity for objective third-party validation of his role as the primary caregiver and responsible parent. Sarah's attempt to claim kidnapping backfired when presented with evidence of Marcus's comprehensive responsibility for their son's care and well-being. The judge's recognition of Marcus as the primary care provider and dismissal of Sarah's kidnapping claims represented legal validation of what Marcus had experienced in their relationship, that he had been functioning as a single parent while married to someone who contributed little to their child's care. Marcus's strategic gathering of evidence regarding Sarah's infidelity and financial irresponsibility paid off during divorce proceedings when he was awarded most of their shared assets. His methodical approach to documenting her behavior protected his financial future and his son's security. The confession Marcus obtained from Sarah's affair partner through legal intimidation demonstrated creative problem-solving under pressure. His threat of an alienation of affection lawsuit, while possibly a long shot, proved effective in securing additional evidence that strengthened his divorce case. The divorce settlement's terms, minimal alimony for only 1 year, and primary custody with supervised visitation, reflected the court's assessment of Sarah's fitness as a parent and partner. The supervised visitation requirement, triggered by Sarah's threatening messages, showed how her own actions continued to sabotage her position. Sarah's inability to drive, combined with Marcus's strategic relocation 2 hours away, created practical barriers that effectively limited her access to their son. This geographic distance provided additional protection for Marcus and his son, while making Sarah's visitation rights more difficult to exercise. Is it ethical to use geographic distance and practical limitations to restrict a toxic ex-partner's access to your child? How do you balance protecting your child with maintaining their relationship with the other parent? The peace Marcus experienced after removing Sarah from his daily life confirmed that her presence had been a source of constant stress and emotional burden. The metaphor of a huge weight off his shoulders captured the relief that many people experience when escaping toxic relationships. Marcus's ability to secure professional support for his son's autism, including a care provider and ABA therapy, demonstrated how his improved circumstances allowed him to provide better care than had been possible during his marriage. The removal of Sarah's destructive influence created space for positive changes. Sarah's attempts to reconcile through regret and promises of change followed predictable patterns of behavior from manipulative ex-partners who lose control over their former spouses. Her claims of wanting to be a better person came only after experiencing consequences for her actions, not from genuine internal motivation for change. The incident where Sarah arrived with luggage attempting to move back in showed the extent of her entitlement and disregard for Marcus's autonomy. Her assumption that she could simply return and resume their relationship demonstrated a fundamental lack of respect for his decisions and boundaries. Marcus's involvement of law enforcement when Sarah tried to force her way back into his life established clear legal boundaries and documentation of her harassment. This approach protected him legally while sending an unambiguous message about his commitment to maintaining separation. The love-bombing campaign that followed Sarah's failed reconciliation attempts including recruitment of her family members, represented classic manipulation tactics designed to overwhelm Marcus's defenses through emotional appeals and third-party pressure. His resistance to these efforts showed significant personal growth and boundary maintenance. Marcus's decision to dispose of his old phone rather than continue blocking Sarah's harassment demonstrated practical problem-solving and his commitment to maintaining his peace of mind. Sometimes the most effective way to stop harassment is to remove the communication channel entirely.
How do you maintain boundaries with someone who refuses to respect your decision to end the relationship? When does persistent contact cross the line from hope into harassment? The development of Marcus's relationship with his son's care provider illustrated how genuine connections can grow naturally from shared values and daily interaction. Their relationship began with professional respect and evolved through demonstrated compatibility and mutual attraction. The 11-year age difference between Marcus and his future wife created legitimate concerns about power dynamics and life stage compatibility. Marcus's careful consideration of these factors showed his maturity and desire to approach the relationship ethically and thoughtfully. The care provider's willingness to quit her job to pursue a relationship with Marcus demonstrated the seriousness of her feelings and her understanding of professional boundaries. Her proactive approach to resolving potential conflicts showed emotional intelligence and commitment to doing things properly. Marcus's cautious approach to beginning a new relationship reflected his awareness of his own emotional vulnerability following the divorce trauma. His insistence on taking things slowly and properly showed personal growth and determination to avoid repeating past relationship mistakes. The 4-year courtship period that followed allowed both Marcus and his future wife to build a solid foundation based on genuine compatibility rather than immediate attraction or emotional rebound. This extended timeline provided opportunities to observe each other's character and values in various situations. His future wife's completion of nursing school during their relationship demonstrated her personal ambition and professional development, creating a partnership between two accomplished individuals rather than a dependent relationship. This growth showed that their age difference hadn't prevented her from pursuing her own goals. The moment Marcus's son called his girlfriend Mom represented a powerful validation of their family bond and the positive impact she had made on their household. This natural expression of attachment from the child confirmed that the relationship was beneficial for everyone involved. How do you know when a new partner is truly good for your children versus just good for you? What role should children's opinions play in adult relationship decisions? Marcus's decision to take the relationship slowly showed learning from his previous marriage's mistakes and his commitment to building something sustainable rather than rushing into commitment. This patience reflected emotional maturity and respect for all parties involved. The continued relationship between Marcus and Sarah's cousins illustrated how family relations can transcend marital conflicts when built on genuine respect and shared values. Their military and firefighting backgrounds seemed to align with Marcus's straightforward, responsible approach to life. The invitation to family vacations from Sarah's cousins represented remarkable acceptance and validation of Marcus's character, even choosing him over their blood relative when conflicts arose. This relationship provided Marcus with extended family connections that enriched his new life. Sarah's confrontation of Marcus's wife at nursing school represented a dangerous escalation of her harassment and stalking behavior. This incident showed how her obsession with Marcus had grown over time rather than diminishing, creating genuine safety concerns for his new family. The restraining orders that Marcus and his wife filed against Sarah provided legal protection and documentation of her ongoing harassment. These legal measures established clear consequences for future violations and created a record of her escalating behavior. Sarah's loss of all visitation rights, reduced to video chats and supervised visits only, represented the natural consequences of her own actions and continued harassment. Her behavior had effectively destroyed her relationship with her son through her inability to respect boundaries and prioritize his well-being. Sarah's return to work and independent living after the divorce showed that she was capable of functioning independently when forced to do so. However, her continued attempts to manipulate Marcus through family members revealed that her personal growth remained limited. Can someone who has been manipulative and abusive truly change, or do they simply adapt their tactics? How do you distinguish between genuine personal growth and strategic behavior modification? The incident where Sarah actually joined the military after Marcus jokingly suggested she needed to learn discipline showed both her continuing obsession with him and her pattern of extreme actions without addressing underlying character issues. Her subsequent discharge for disciplinary reasons confirmed that external structure alone couldn't fix her problems. Sarah's social media campaign, portraying herself as a victim of modern relationship dynamics, represented a continuation of her manipulative tactics through public narrative control. Her ability to gain followers who believed her version of events showed how skilled manipulators can shape public perception. Marcus's wife's advice not to worry about Sarah's social media attacks demonstrated the emotional stability and security that Marcus had found in his new relationship. Her understanding of his trust issues and past trauma showed the kind of patient support he had lacked in his first marriage. The couple's plans to have their first child together represented Marcus's confidence in their relationship and his healing from the trauma of his first marriage. His desire to do things better this time showed personal growth and optimism about their future. Marcus's message to other betrayed spouses, that there is always someone who will love and respect you more than your current spouse, provided hope and encouragement based on his lived experience. His advice not to settle for anything less reflected hard-won wisdom about relationship standards. The discovery that Marcus's story had been featured in YouTube videos with AI narration reflected the viral nature of compelling personal stories and the way individual experiences can resonate with broader audiences seeking hope and guidance. Does sharing stories of successful recovery from betrayal help others heal? Or does it create unrealistic expectations about finding perfect replacement relationships? Marcus's journey from introduction to confident father and husband illustrated the possibility of complete life transformation following devastating betrayal. His story showed that with proper boundaries, support, and patience, it's possible to build something better than what was lost. The contrast between Marcus's first and second marriages highlighted the difference between settling for dysfunction and finding genuine compatibility. His experience demonstrated that age, circumstances, and unconventional beginnings don't prevent authentic love from developing. The professional setting where Marcus met his future wife through his son's care showed how love can develop naturally through shared values and daily interaction rather than through traditional dating scenarios. Their relationship proved that meaningful connections can emerge from unexpected circumstances. Marcus's continued anger about his divorce, even years later, acknowledged that healing from betrayal and emotional abuse isn't always complete or linear. His therapist's recommendation to journal showed that processing trauma is an ongoing process that requires active effort and professional support. Marcus's strategic approach to leaving his toxic marriage provided a blueprint for others in similar situations. His methodical planning, evidence gathering, and clean break demonstrated how to protect oneself legally and emotionally when ending a destructive relationship. Marcus's story ultimately served as proof that while betrayal and emotional abuse can cause significant trauma, they don't have to define the rest of someone's life. With proper support, clear boundaries, and patience, it's possible to heal and build healthier relationships than ever seemed possible.